Hey everybody, Livingston here. Today we're jumping into another fun-filled episode of the Twilight Zone. This time it is a Season 3, Episode 22. The Gift came out April 27th, 1962, and another episode I haven't seen before, but I know that this isn't the episode I should be getting into. I should be getting into Season 3, Episode 28, The Little People, and for some reason when I was recording these episodes, it jumped over episode 28, 29, 30, 31, and for some reason now we are on episode 32, and I didn't know that until I started playing the episode and I seen that it was The Gift. So I am now re-recording the intro of this Twilight Zone episode. I will be doing episode 28 next week, so look for that in next week's Wednesday, and sorry, I'm out of order, I'm out of line, but it is what it is, and we will be jumping into this episode since I've already recorded it and reacted to it. And don't forget to stick around after this episode to go over my review as well as some trivia for this episode. But before we get started, let's jump into your comments for last week's episode, Persons or Persons Unknown, and see what you had to say about it. Michael Alexis Stalling says, it gave me It's a Wonderful Life vibe where George wished he had never been born. Very true. It's very much like that. The last third of that movie is a lot like what this character went through in this episode in terms of not existing and whatsoever, and everybody looking at him like a crazy person. Like, what are you talking about, dude? Didn't end as wonderful for him as it did for George Bailey in It's a Wonderful Life, but yeah, he's kind of stuck with somebody who looks totally different than the wife that he knew, and it just makes you wonder, where does it go after that? I think that's what makes for great Twilight Zone episodes, when you can think past the episode we actually watched, and you can kind of formulate a story to kind of continue on what was being told in this particular episode. It's as if it's a window in this specific time, and it's still being lived today. We just can't see it since Twilight Zone only shown the light on it for about 23 minutes. But yeah, it would have been interesting to see what would have happened, and if he maybe was continued down this route of things not happening the way it should, and maybe if he falls asleep again and he ends up waking up and ends up being somebody completely different, or ends up being the original wife, who knows? But I like this kind of episodes where you can just keep wondering. Jack Dorsey 4850 says, lots of twists and turns, you don't know which end is up. Loved it. Yeah, very true. I definitely enjoyed this episode. One of those episodes that keeps you wondering. I like those sorts of stories where it's consistently making you go, what is going on? And this episode definitely did that. Jonathan Stein says, this is one of the most existentially terrifying episodes, right up there with season 1's And When the Sky Was Open. You can fight monsters, robots, or aliens, but what do you do when there's no proof you exist? Yeah, it does suck. I mean, there's nothing you can do. There's every way you try to prove it, just kind of it proves that you're crazy and everyone else is not. And yeah, so I like those kind of episodes. It really makes you think, like, what would you do in that situation? I mean, all you can really do is tell somebody about their history, or maybe discuss those kind of things, but maybe you just did your research. In this day and age, you can kind of get away with saying that you knew somebody by just Googling them and going through their biography or whatever. But yeah, it's crazy that ends up being one of the more scarier aspects of it compared to aliens and robots. Derek71647 says, this is one of my favorite ones. Thanks for reacting to it. No problem, Derek. It is a very good episode. It might end up in my top 5 for season 3. Who knows? Reign Supreme says, as much as I like to have an ending to a story, I can definitely appreciate it when it's left open-ended and up to the viewer for a conclusion. Yeah, I was just talking about that, and I really do like that Twilight Zone does that, where it's just kind of showing you a window in time more so than just a beginning-ending in middle section to a story. And there's a lot of episodes that have that, where there's a beginning, middle, and end, but I do like that Twilight Zone sometimes leaves a story open-ended. Robert says, I believe Dave Gurney became so immersed in his dream, causing him an amnesia when he actually awakens the second time. This is definitely one of the many great episodes. Very possible. I mean, that would explain why he didn't recognize his wife when he woke up. Typically, it's the other way around, where we don't really remember the faces in our dreams. Every time you kind of wake up and you dreamed of somebody different, that's somebody that you don't know personally, they always end up having a blank face within your mind, in your memory of that dream. So yeah, I mean, I've never really remembered any faces in my dream, and maybe when he woke up, he was just like completely the opposite. Didn't really remember the face of the woman that he actually lived with. Who knows? SJS Up Philosopher says, A+ text for exploring classic science fiction. Well, thanks. I appreciate it. I always love A+ or some kind of award for the things that I do, but thank you so much for commenting. Sean Bumstead 1250 says, I thought the ending would be him in a straitjacket in a padded room. Yeah, I thought that too, but I kind of like that he ended up escaping that reality and ended up in another one where he just doesn't have any sense of what's going on in that one as well. So yeah, it's one of those kind of Jacob's Ladder situation where maybe you end up waking up in your own hell, or you end up waking up in a different sort of conundrum. Sean Bumstead 1250 says, I thought the ending would be him in a straitjacket in a padded room. Yeah, I kind of like that it didn't happen that way, though. It's very much what I thought as well, up until like the last 5 minutes when he ends up waking up. I had a feeling that's where they were going to go when they were trying to get him in a position for the camera to make it look like he was in bed and like beating on the bed trying to wake up. And yeah, I mean, it left it open-ended, wondering what the hell is going on. Is that his wife? Isn't his wife? What's the issue in this reality? And we're left wondering. There should be a different Twilight Zone show altogether where they end up doing sequels to the episodes that started way back in the 60s. And even maybe, I'm sure they kind of kept it going, and they have open-ended shows in the 80s and the early 2000s, and maybe even the 2-season show that they had that came out in the late 2020s. Or no, I'm sorry, late teens, 20-teens. So yeah, it would be interesting if like they did a Twilight Zone episode or a Twilight Zone show where they did sequels to all the open-ended episodes. I think that would be interesting. Maybe I should just do that for the channel and say screw it and call it something else, but we all know, wink wink, that it's actual trilogy or actual sequels. I don't know. Let me know, comment below. I've been kind of tossing around ideas and thinking about doing something like that for the channel, and maybe paying homage to Twilight Zone in a way where I end up making short stories with my friends who are also filmmakers, and putting it on the channel for people to kind of, enjoy. Nene's hubby says Frank Silvera, who plays the Doctor, was a Jamaican-born actor who avoided stereotypical roles because of his light skin and neutral features. You often couldn't tell his ethnicity because of black and white televisions of the time, so in addition to black roles, he also played Latinos and Polynesians. He would also direct and even go on to found a theater for black actors, and was very active in the civil rights movement. He was tragically killed by an accidental electrocution at his home at just 55 years of age. Well, thanks for that trivia, Nanny's Hubby. I did not know that. It's also very nice to know about some of the history of the actor Frank Silvera, and yeah, it's too bad that he ended up going tragically that way, being that he founded a theater, and hopefully it's still going to this day. We don't know. Hey, look that up and let me know in the next episode if you're watching this, Nene's hubby. I would like to know if there was actual continuation of his legacy in a way where maybe the theater is still going to this day, and he kind of lives on in that way. Interstellar Dave says, now we have to wonder, is this just a twist on his dream and he's still the one out of phase with everything else? Or is this a case where she is out of phase with everyone else and she won't be able to prove her existence? Yeah, I don't know. That would be interesting to see. I mean, we know that he does have a wife. Now he just doesn't recognize the wife. Maybe if she was able to prove that she is who she says she is, and then there ends up being a marriage license that says that she is married to him, then it's all of a sudden back on him again, going, okay, why are you crazy and now you can't recognize who the person is that you married? So I think in the end it would end up falling back on him if she can't prove who she says she is, because in the other reality, the wife did not remember him whatsoever. In the reality that he wakes up in, she knows who he is, and he knows who she is. He just doesn't recognize what she looks like. So yeah, I think we might be in the same conundrum. It's just different circumstances this time. Antarctic Orb 9197 says, the last couple of minutes of this episode might have been better if the camera showed the wife's face. This way we, as the audience, get the feeling that everything is normal, but then we get shocked when Dave Gurney realizes that it's not his wife. Yeah, I mean, possibly. I guess it's the own interpretation of how the director read the script and how the writer had it maybe too. I mean, that could have been a way they could have went with it too. I don't know, but I like the way it ended. I thought it was very interesting the way they kind of left it, but it left you knowing exactly what was going to happen because they weren't showing her face. I was actually stating out loud, like, "Hey, they're not showing her face. Something's up, something's off." And turns out it wasn't really the wife that we recognized in the dream. So yeah, who knows? There's probably multiple ways you could have told this and revealed it differently. California Hummus says, anybody else noticed he slept in his clothes and went to work without changing or taking a shower first? No wonder they didn't acknowledge him. Well, if he smelled really horribly, they probably would have made faces and went like, well, what the heck, man? They probably would have remembered him too. But maybe, yeah, he just smelled so bad he didn't register in people's minds, and they tried to avoid him in all circumstances. So yeah, who knows what? I mean, that would have been a nice little twist as well. Just he stunk so bad. But anyways, thanks for everyone's comments. Really do appreciate it, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to continue following us on this channel, watching the Twilight Zone. I am about to get back into watching Tales from the Crypt as well as The Outer Limits. I've been a little off trying to catch up on work and whatnot, so we're going to get back into those, as well as doing some reactions to films that I have coming up in the near future. One of them being Wicked, that's coming out this Sunday. Finally going to get that out. And a friend of mine and I did watch The Shadow, and I might end up doing a different way of editing my videos. So let me know, comment below what you think of those changes when I do get to releasing those. In the meantime, let's keep on enjoying some Twilight Zone and see what we're getting into.
The Twilight Zone.
What is going on here? I believe this takes place in Mexico.
What's happening? I can't run in. I think he's dead. I believe it's Salvador.
Telegrapher.
Parece que está muerto.
That way.
Salvador.
Rodolfo, I wish to send a telegram.
Oh, what's the matter with you, Sanchez? Please, do you know what time it is? Because you are a policeman, you think you got the privilege to... ¿Qué le habrá pasado?
How? I will send a telegram. It will explain. Send it as I tell it to the prefect of police, state capital.
Prefect of police?
Send it, Rodolfo. Send it. Don't censor it.
Just write the letter.
Unidentified aircraft or something crashed into the hills north of our village.
Okay.
Object is metal and circular.
I can't run in.
Officer Hermano Salvador and myself investigated the scene of the crash. Evidence of footprints and broken brush. Say that I followed the figure of the monster in the darkness. I believe I wounded whatever it was.
A mountain village held back in time by its remoteness and suddenly intruded upon by the 20th century. And this is Pedro, 9 years old,
Howdy, Pedro.
who will soon make the acquaintance of a traveler from a distant place. But any place and all places can be the Twilight Zone.
Some giant thing was escaping in the darkness. I fired several shots and later I found some bloodstains.
Some giant thing? Not the darkness, or perhaps your fear?
Is this an illusion? I want no one on the streets tonight.
Tengo miedo. Es un monstruo.
We're in danger.
Drink up, Doctor. I want to close now. I have no doubt.
I can't stand that. I've worked in retail before, and it's like 5 o'clock, about to close. Then suddenly people just start showing up at 5:02, and you're like, come on, man.
And so what do you learn from these stars, huh? Have they ever taught you to sweep this place properly or to clean a glass? Then you and the man in the moon have nothing in common. Yeah, go get some water. Those should be locked tonight.
This is where the kid meets the being.
Hey, the boy is not of my flesh. I know nothing of him. And he has a room in the back. But go look for him out in the night and you'll see him standing there looking up at the sky.
Why would he smile, the boy? His poverty? Why should he smile? On some occasion, some festive occasion, extend him a hand.
Well, the guy's blind.
Shall I see you home, Ignacio?
No, thank you, Pedro. But you stay inside.
I'm locking up now, Doctor. I must ask you to leave. Wear a smile. You will doubtless live to see the morning.
Howdy, stranger.
Are you still open?
Is this the alien?
I thought perhaps I could have some wine.
Kind of a weird place to ask for wine.
Please sit down, sir. I will get you wine.
I don't know. I guess I'm a little ignorant of if they have wine in Mexico. Let's look that up.
Is this not true, Doctor?
I won't stay but a moment, long enough for a drink of wine. I'm ill, I think.
Mexican wine and winemaking began with the arrival of the Spanish in the 16th century when they brought vines from Europe to modern-day Mexico. It's the oldest wine-growing region in the Americas. There you go. They were making wine in Mexico before Napa Valley was even a thought.
Bottle didn't break. That couldn't be what.
Oh, that's not good.
Gave me no choice. I must explain. I tried to tell him that I came in peace. He wanted to kill me. I tried to get the gun, and it went off against his body.
You'll be all right soon. He will make you all well again.
There's only one person who feels neither fear nor anger. This is a boy.
You are a stranger, and in a way, I am a stranger too.
In the pocket. Get it. It's a gift. Put it away. I'll tell you later on.
For a badly wounded man, you have a strangely willful pulse. Might go a step further and say that I wish mine sounded like yours, Dad. Pedro, bring the lamp close to the bed.
It's a hell of a lamp. It's huge.
We're going to start digging in there for at least 30 minutes.
No anesthetic, Doctor.
It's gonna pull a Dalton. No in a stick for me.
You have a good friend, senor.
You must give him something.
Pedro, I will tell you something. I'm a very obliging man, but your friend does not want the pain deadened. Whiskey, if not the best, make it the strongest. The stranger travels light, just the clothes in his back and these inside his chest.
Not so much as a cry all that time. I know nothing else except that he is my friend.
For example, it does not explain how a man can have 2 bullets inside his body and have them removed without a whimper. And it does not explain where this man is alive when he should be dead.
We got to him just in time, Doctor.
Thank God.
We got to him about 3 hours too late. So stay by your friend, and look after him. While I was in there, I heard the door unlocked.
When the army came, they would not have to go walking through the hills at night.
At your baptism, they forgot to give you a proper name.
What?
What would that be, Doctor?
That would be Judas, Manolo.
I wonder if everybody's actually named their child Judas.
You must be tired, Pedro.
I can sleep anytime.
You have a poet, Pedro. I've read him, Robert Burns.
I've heard of them.
He said, the best laid schemes of mice and men gang after glay, like my plans. I came here to give. I've often wondered why it is that men fear the unknown. The only person I've met who isn't afraid of the dark is a child.
Because I am an odd one. You come from a long way off, don't you? From the stars?
Beyond the stars, Pedro.
I'm pretty sure you're still amongst them. You're not beyond the stars.
A small gift to show them that I came as a visitor, not an invader. And then I must leave.
For good, senor? For good and all?
There's no such thing as for good and all. I will come back sometime.
Where are from? Is there a God?
The same God, Pedro.
If God were to come to Earth, would they find him so strange? And would they shoot him?
Probably.
Did not his son come once, Pedro?
Yeah, but they...
nail him to a cross.
Yep.
And then they will not be afraid. Then I can show them the gift.
But please explain to me, if he is only one man and is too weak to move, why do you need us?
This is not a man. This is a creature.
He looks like a man in a poncho.
Person you seek is inside, Captain.
Village of lions. In here with me. The two of you, wait outside.
The man is too ill to be moved.
Oh?
I'm the doctor here. I have been treating the man. The man is my patient. He's been badly wounded.
My orders from the state capital were to bring back a killer.
Get out of the way, Pedro.
Stay here!
Here he is, Captain.
Where? You can make lies.
Have the men surround the street immediately. He cannot have gone very far.
The soldiers will protect us.
Really scared about this guy.
There he is! Officer, I found him. He's here! You're under arrest, senor. Charged is murder.
I come in peace.
You will put up your hands and walk toward me.
What are they gonna do? Gonna blow him away?
Pedro, the gift. Show them the gift. Give it to the doctor. He will explain it to them.
Why?
It's the devil's work!
Oh, great.
Pedro!
Somebody stop him! He's attacking the boy.
No, he's not. Oh, someone with an itchy trigger finger. Boom. Dead. Great. Idiots.
All right, that's the end of it. Everybody back to your homes. Someone to pick up the body.
What's on it?
What was it, Doctor?
Something from Satan.
Nope.
Greetings to the people of Earth. We come as friends and in peace. Bring you this gift. The following chemical formula is a vaccine. It's a vaccine against all forms of cancer.
Oh. Jeez.
That's all there is. The rest have been burned.
Good job, guys. Awesome. Well, we just killed millions.
The subject, fear. An RX off a shelf in the Twilight Zone.
One of those endings. It just goes to show that human beings in general, I'm not sure how we would react when it comes to the reality of it if somebody actually did crash land, and would we treat them this way like they did in this episode where we end up shooting before asking questions about what's going on? Would we think it's black magic more so than an actual cure to cancer? Like, who knows? I mean, people do a lot of crazy things when they're scared, and it's kind of sad that that's the way the world is. Maybe it isn't so much these days. Maybe we'd be more on the lines of possibly believing what we see when it comes to some alien being coming down from the stars and greeting us with the cure for cancer. I don't know how we would react today. It's a crazy world we live in, and I mean, hell, we kind of accept a lot of crazy things in general. It seems like a lot of people are kind of turning on some of those crazy ideas today, which I'm not against. But yeah, it's just funny how the human race as a whole likes to be scared of things that we don't know. And we would like to shoot first and ask questions later, more so than actually getting to know exactly what's going on. But yeah, it's one of those episodes where maybe we would take a life lesson from it if somebody was actually trying to be helpful in some way, and we don't take it as a hostile act. Instead, we take it as something that is actual friendship. But hey, who knows? Depends on the circumstances, how everybody reacts to everybody else, and who's actually involved in that situation. And hopefully when or if this ever does happen and we're greeted by people from another world, that somebody with an even head actually is the one to do the handshaking at that meeting. But we'll see, I guess. With all that being said, let's jump into some trivia and see what it took to get this episode off the ground. The story with religious overtones originally aired the week after Easter in 1962. It is essentially a Jesus allegory. This episode originally aired a little over 2 months after the death of Vladimir Sokolov, who played the blind guitarist. Oh, this was his last role, I suppose. The story was originally written as one of the series' possible pilots, but was passed over for Where Is Everybody? Man, I guess they had a bunch of episodes written before they actually started making the Twilight Zone. Crazy, because this is like 3 years after the actual pilot episode aired. The Army officer is played by future Hollywood film director Paul Mazursky. Well, that's the end of the episode. Let me know, comment below what you thought of it, and I will go over your comments in next week's episode. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to continue on this voyage, episode 156 of The Twilight Zone. Until next time, see you later.